and the factories.
Hey, I'm Dennis Weaver, and coming up next is the very last time Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels would ever play the Lone Ranger and Tonto on the screen. It's the Lone Ranger and the Lost City of Gold. Now, this was released in 1958, just a year after the television series ended. And you know, that was just about the last time Clayton Moore did any acting. Instead, you know what he did? He toured the country entertaining folks with his fancy gun twirling and storytelling. Sometimes, and this is pretty unbelievable, he would do as many as 200 live shows a year. And you know, everywhere he went, he always made time to visit hospitals and orphanages and see his youngest fans. And one of the most asked questions, of course, was, do you ever take the mask off? And Moore's answer was always, only to wash my face. Sadly, that all changed in 1975 when the company that owned the rights to the Lone Ranger took Moore to court, demanding that he stop wearing the mask. Well, you know, the court could stop him from appearing as the masked man, but it couldn't stop the public from acknowledging him as the official Lone Ranger. So let's ride one last time on that fiery horse with the speed of light in The Lone Ranger and the Lost City of Gold. That's coming up next.
The following presentation is rated TV PG.
Stay tuned to Encore's Westerns Channel 50th Anniversary Salute to the Lone Ranger. Coming up next on Encore's Westerns Channel. In September, Encore's Westerns Channel brings you the golden anniversary of the man with the silver bullet.
You Kimosabe, you trusty scout.
Relive those thrilling days of yesteryear when truth and justice saddled a white stallion to tame the American West.
I'm not going to do any killing. A man must die. It's up to the law to decide that, not the person behind a six-shooter.
Every night in September, the Lone Ranger and Tonto ride again in your favorite Western serial.
That's right.
Add to that 2 feature-length Lone Ranger movies, and you can't find a better reason to get off your horse and set a spell. Relive the action, relive the danger, relive the adventure. The Lone Ranger 50th Anniversary Celebration, all month long in September on Encore's Westerns Channel. The trail of matchsticks helped the masked man stop a bank robbery in A Broken Match. Tomorrow night at 7 on Encore's Westerns Channel. In Texas, where men are made and revenge is a way of life.
Y'all come all the way down here looking for me?
Papa wants you dead, Carl.
Some men become legends.
You know who I am?
Si, senor. I know who you are.
So it was with Barbarossa.
You may be in trouble.
I ain't gonna miss next time. Oh, time to go.
You're right, it's time to go.
I had no idea she was your daughter.
Well, good morning to you, sir. Plan to kill me today?
Gary Busey.
You missed him.
Willie Nelson.
I don't kill for amusement, man or rabbit.
Barbarossa. Saturday at 8 on Encore's Westerns Channel.
From what I hear, there isn't a faster man with a 45.
He was a cowboy riding the revenge trail
I want to look at Tuck all the way through Gunsmoke first.
with a knack for attracting trouble.
Who's the slick kid wearing out those coins?
Him? He's the Peso Kid. He's handy to have around.
I'll bet he is, especially with your back turned.
But when he loses his taste for revenge,
As far as I'm concerned, the whole game's over. I have one more piece of business to take care of. Then I'm riding out for good.
he's got to fight for his honor or die trying.
You play with a loaded gun and you're going to get into trouble.
He'll feel a lot worse when I get through with him.
You looking for trouble, Larry?
You'll know when I am. I didn't come through that gate just to make talk.
Dorothy Malone and Randolph Scott star in Tall Man Riding. Just one of the movies you'll see for the first time on Encore's Westerns channel in September. Encore's Westerns channel brings you one of the roughest, toughest,
make your play,
straightest shooting heroes to ride onto the silver screen. Hopalong Cassidy fires up the action in September.
Don't get salty with Bill Cassidy, kid. He'll jerk a leg off you and spank you with it.
Trouble follows Hoppy around from Pride of the West to Law of the Pampas.
Point that gun and one of you's a dead man.
In old Colorado. And Hopalong Cassidy enters.
Hey, how about me? You ain't gonna leave me out of this party.
All you gotta know is you can find Hopalong Cassidy right here on Encore's Westerns channel in September.
Introducing the new Encore movie channel. Now you'll get recent, big, hit movies. And the new Encore is the only channel that promises you a great movie every night, guaranteed. The new Encore movie channel, the only channel that promises you a great movie every night, guaranteed.
Stay tuned to Encore's Westerns channel 50th anniversary salute to the Lone Ranger. Coming up next on Encore's Westerns channel. For the first time on Encore's Westerns channel, you only have to hear one word to know. A classic. Sunday at 8 on Encore's Westerns channel. In 1939, director John Ford introduced America's newest cowboy hero, John Wayne, in his epic masterpiece, Stagecoach.
You may need me in this Winchester, Curly.
Now, get ready for the rip-roaring remake, featuring a whole wagon load of wild action.
Everybody out, take cover!
With Red Buttons and Bing Crosby.
A little tardy now and then is small enough payment for my valuable professional services.
Alex Cord and Ann Margaret.
When are you gonna stand up and stop crawling? Shut up! Tell me
Van Heflin and Slim Pickens, all on one gut-busting ride.
We're risking our lives staying here. We've got to hitch up and go.
Stagecoach, tomorrow at 8 on Encore's Westerns channel.
A Western's got a hero who's got a special horse. And there's lots of fights and shoot 'em up, and the good guys win, of course. But when the bad guy got the drop, and the good guy was in trouble, who's the one who went for help and brought it on the double? Oh, it's the trusty sidekick, and to help your recollection, every month we saddle up a cinema collection. September has Paul Hurst riding the range with Monty Hale as they clear the name of an accused stagecoach robber, protect Indians from land-grabbing cattlemen, and chase some slippery Arizona outlaw. So when you need a sidekick any time of every day, look up Encore's Westerns channel, 'cause they went that away.
Encore's Westerns channel celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Lone Ranger on television. Hollywood stuntman Richard Farnsworth recalls how much work went into making the Lone Ranger series.
What I remember most about it is how fast we were doing it. You know, I couldn't believe you could do that many episodes in 2 weeks, you know, and by God we did. They'd go in the studio and then did all the dialogue that they couldn't do outside. They had a big fake rock they'd move over around and show Tonto, and I think Jay would meet there. That was their meeting place. And they'd angle that rock. One day I'll never forget, they were talking, and the camera's rolling. One of the prop men accidentally moved this rock about 3 feet. They weren't heavy, they were paper shaped. the director said, oh, geez. You know, and they tried, and he said, who's behind that rock? This guy, God, I'm sorry I bumped into it, and they had to shoot it over, but this rock couldn't have weighed over 100 pounds, and it was 10 feet high, you know.
There's more excitement coming up next as the Lone Ranger's 50th anniversary tribute continues on Encore's Westerns channel.
The following presentation is rated TV-G.
You're watching the 50th anniversary Lone Ranger Marathon, coming up next on Encore's Westerns channel. Join Encore's Westerns channel in September as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Lone Ranger. Film historian Leonard Maltin says Clayton Moore was the true Lone Ranger.
The guy who knew how to do it right was Clayton because he gave it 100% sincerity. I think what makes Clayton Moore so great as the Lone Ranger is that you get a sense of real belief. He believes that character when he plays him, and I think that's what makes him so wonderful in the part.
And Harry Carey Jr. recalls working with Clayton Moore on the series.
Well, they did all the chases in the summertime with the doubles, and then they matched the wardrobe in the wintertime when we shot on that soundstage where they had a big paper-mache rock. We shot all that stuff in 3 days. And Clayton finally got to the point where he couldn't take it anymore. And it wasn't too long after that that Clayton quit. He said either make them 6 days or longer. It was too tough on him. And so he quit. Well, of course, they got a young man called John Hart to play the Lone Ranger, but he just was not Clayton, and so they finally had to bring Clayton back.
Saddle up with Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Lone Ranger with another great episode coming up next on Encore's Westerns channel.
The following presentation is rated TV-G.
Coming up, celebrate the 50th anniversary of the popular TV series The Lone Ranger, right here on Encore's Westerns channel. Join Encore's Westerns channel in September as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of The Lone Ranger. Clayton Moore got the role of a lifetime after 10 years in Hollywood, according to film historian Leonard Maltin.
What's interesting is that he was an actor who got his first jobs because he was a good-looking man. He'd been an acrobat before, he had a handsome face, and yet here his ticket to immortality was in a role where he had to wear a mask all the time. And perhaps it was because of that that you noticed for the first time what a wonderful voice he had. And I think his favorite parts were the episodes where he would get to be in disguise as a grizzled old-timer or as some other character who was out to infiltrate the bad guys by being someone other than the Lone Ranger. The other thing that works so well in those shows and in the two feature films is his relationship with Jay Silverheels as Tonto is a very strong one. You immediately accept that bond of friendship and trust that exists between them. There's nothing condescending about the relationship. It's very earnest, and I think it's a message that was sent out to kids, and he and Clayton Moore just made an unbeatable team.
Saddle up with Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of The Lone Ranger with another great episode coming up next on Encore's Westerns channel.
The following presentation is rated TV-G.
Maintenance. Sergeant Stacy Kuhn, the supervisor in charge when King was beaten, is expected.
This is CNN Headline News.
Huh. I wonder if we have termites.
Terminex is the nation's leader in termite control.
Let's see. Terminex. Where's that number?
Our name is well known, if not always well loved. Of course, on our way to the top, we made some enemies. So if you suspect termites, call us. Nobody bugs bugs like Terminex.
Excellent opportunity for bright self-starter.
Let's go.
Enjoys traveling. Join dynamic team.
All right. Slow down.
Challenging work environment.
Coming down now, just relax, all right?
Good communication skills.
We're taking C-spine precautions.
Result-oriented.
Hey, there he is.
Excellent benefits.
The Emergency Medical Services, the job you've been looking for. A public service message from Quantum Chemical Corporation.
Buy an international business class seat, and that's what you get. So what's the difference? Continental's new Business First. With the room and comfort of a true sleeper seat. The luxury of international first class, but at a business class fare. Continental's Business First. The business class to Europe that's truly first class.